Hi y'all, good morning. Welcome to the garden. I just wanted to check in with y'all, and see how y'all are doing, because this has been a really rough season for me. August has been really rough. July is also really rough. It has been so hot and humid here. A lot of the plants have struggled and started to struggle. It looks like we may be getting some reprieve here in the next week, that the temperatures will come down more to normal and kind of as we approach fall. But I'm going to show you some things that aren't looking so great, and some things that I'm going to have to think about working on next year, and potentially replacing some things. So let's turn the camera around and see how things are doing. So I came out earlier this week and took some photos of the garden because some things were starting, in my opinion, to look kind of rough, and so I wanted to get some photos because I don't take a lot of photos. I've had so much footage, but every year I consistently forget to take photos of the garden, and there were some good ones. I'll put some on the screen. But we've got there's been immense disease pressure this year, immense pest pressure because it was so wet in the spring. I'd started to notice this maple here. This is Crimson Century, which is beautiful because it holds its color really well most of the season. It gets a little, you can see it's getting a little more green here later in the season, but it's still very dark to purple. I noticed these webs on it a week or so ago, and then I didn't come out and take care of it. And then yesterday I noticed they had spread significantly, and there were a ton of worms on it. So I'm not sure exactly what the pest is. But I come out and sprayed BT all over the tree last night to kill the worms because they're just devouring the leaves. And then I need to come through and clean up and pull off those webs in a little bit after I make sure they're gone. But more pest issues this year than I've ever really experienced in the garden. The thing is, there's a lot of pollinators too, though. So you can see the garden this early morning is covered up with all sorts of wasps and bees and other things. Roses have struggled this year as well. We had a flush in the spring, but it had just been so hot for so long that a lot of the roses were kind of just sitting there. We're starting to get a lot more buds on them now. This is, what variety is this one? Pull out my little tags here. This is Uptown Girl. So it's a coral color. This rose looks like a little deformed. It's from one of the first ones of this next flush. So sometimes those first ones can be a little wonky. Some of my annuals too have just been like slowly giving up and not blooming so much because it had been so hot. So next year, I think I had Supertunia Vista in this. There's still a few blooms here and there, and it probably needs to be fertilized. I'm not great about fertilizing my concrete containers, but sometimes it can take a lull here, and I'm thinking about, instead of planting Supertunia Vista next year, the new Supertunia Mini Pink Cloud is so floriferous, and it has not stopped blooming for me even through this heat since I planted it in May. So I think I'm going to trade it out because it's a very similar color. The blooms are a little smaller, but there's way more of them, and it's almost I'll take you back at the end of this video and show you, but there's so many blooms that it completely covers the foliage almost. Another one of my, which I don't think I've showed you this, or it may have been a video and I didn't mention it. I took the Boxwood topiaries from the back containers that I had. One of them died. I took the other one and popped it in the middle here of this Catmint. So this is Cat's Pajamas. But what I was showing you here is the 𝗩𝗒𝗄𝗧 River is looking really rough. We've had a lot of die and death this summer because it's been so hot and humid. Red Rover, which has usually been very, very successful for me, and one I've pushed a lot on my channel because it's done so well, is almost, let's see, is it even in here anymore? But you can see they're just kind of fading out. I don't know. I don't think this is Red Rover. This is like Peachberry Ice. Trying to find it. That might be Red Rover, and it's just so... I don't think it is, though. I think this is Red Rover. Maybe they're all the same, but they're just slowly giving up on me. I don't know what's going on. Look at them. So I'm disappointed in the heuchera river this year. It did really well last year growing in, and this summer it's just giving up. And I know heuchera historically need some shade, but Proven Winners has bred their heuchera to accept more sun, but it looks like some of them can't take as much heat and sun as we've had here this season. So some of them are still looking great. So I think I don't know if this is the wild rose or the wild berry. I think it's wild berry, and then there's black pearl. Those seem to be doing really well, but the yellows have struggled quite a bit. They're still really tiny down here. There's some of them that's gotten a little bigger, but Red Rover for some reason is the one that seems to be just giving up everywhere. There's one here, another one dead there, another one dead there. I'm not going to come and pull them out or anything. I don't know if they'll come back as we start cooling off a little bit towards fall, but kind of disappointed because that was such a good variety for me here. And I would still plant it in more shade probably, but you know, I don't know if I'll continue with this next year. It might be something where I relocate all of these to a more shady position in the garden and figure out something else to do, a little river up, or just fill this in with a variety of things. So I'll have to think about it, see if I can come up with any ideas over winter. It's not something I'm tackling this fall, obviously. It could also be not so much the heat as so much of the rain we got in the spring. It could have gotten root rot during the constant amount of rain that we were getting earlier in the season. It's hard to tell because right now it's just been so hot, and now is when it's looking rough. But if they were struggling, if the roots were struggling previously when it was wet and then it got really hot and it just couldn't keep up, may have just been the downfall of them. So it's hard to know those things. The Yarrow is also looking rough, and it just needs a cut back, but it also looks more rough than I've seen it in previous years. And part of that was from all of the rain we got as well. There's still some green in there and some fresh growth. But I'll turn the camera this way so you can just see some of the layers that are developing. I took some photos of this, as I mentioned. I posted them online, and they looked really great. The thing is, a lot of these things are in their second year, so some of the things are not quite as tall as they're going to be in the future, or that I would expect them to be. But we also, since we have clay soil, some of those plants just do not get to their full height potential, specifically perennials, as they might say on the tag. So like some of these phlox here, this is backlight, is supposed to be much taller than they are this year. Could be the soil conditions, or it could be they just need another year to get established, but that's something, you know, that as someone with clay soil that you might experience from your perennials or plants in general. So you may have noticed I cut the videos back to once a week because I just haven't been able to get out here and do anything, and that's probably going to continue over the next few weeks because I'm going to be traveling a little bit. I'm going to be going to Proven Winners in Michigan in the coming weeks, and then I'm going to New York for Bailey, First Edition Shrubs and Trees, and the Summer Hydrangeas and Easy Elegance Roses from winning the landscape design competition when we went out to Oregon earlier this summer. So I'm going to be doing that too at the beginning of September. So I'm going to be traveling quite a bit and away from the garden, and so I want to spend the next week or so trying to clean up a few things because there's some things that need to be cut on. I don't want to cut too much back, but as I mentioned, things are looking kind of rough, so I probably just need to come through here and like reset some things and then wait and do a garden tour maybe mid-September and give them a little bit to recover after the weather's cooled off some. Let's take a look at some of the containers right quick. Some of them are just kind of giving up. And it's helping me evaluate what I'm going to plant next year in the containers in the garden. Other things are still looking pretty good or recovering from the massive like budworm fiasco I had a few weeks ago. So the Limelight Prime hydrangea hedge, the blooms are aging a little bit. Got a little bit of burning, but some pinking up as we're heading into cooler nights. That's the nice thing about this time of year, that although it can be really hot during the day, and it looks like we have a few more days of that, the nights are starting to fall down into the 60s, which give these plants at least a slight break in the evening. So this is the Pink Cloud Supertunia Mini, and it's starting to like fall apart where it's kind of falling over the Crescent Garden container here, and the blooms are a little bit closed from at being at night and it's been dark. The Supertunia Bordeaux up there, you can see how much more foliage you can see, and it's just, I need to come through and give it a haircut to get it through the rest of the season and cut it back. That's one of the things I'll probably be doing here after this video is over. I'm going to come through and work on my containers just because some of them are looking a little rough. This one right here though, this is the double grapefruit magic double grapefruit Calibrachoa. And it is finally, after I treated it for budworms, coming back with a vengeance. So it's producing all these buds, so it'll be reopened here soon. But I really love, this has been a really, really good variety for me. It has performed really well in these self-watering containers, despite being a Calibrachoa who typically wants it a little more on the dry side, and that typically don't love so much humidity. This has been a super humid summer, and it's gotten a good amount of sun, so it's performed really well. So I'm going to get more of these next year, definitely, because they've done so well. I'm going to slowly, I think next year, give up on the golden butterfly Marguerite daisy for our area anyway. You can see how rough these look, both in the ground and in containers. They've just not performed great. They do really wonderfully until like June, and I'm not sure if they just don't love our heat. But they look kind of rough after that. So I think I'm going to be pulling out this entire container here because even the other annuals are looking a little rough down here. Now this one's a little wild. It got really leggy when I moved it into more shade because it was just getting so much sun. I'm going to come through today and cut this back. This is a really beautiful lantana called Pink Berry Blend, but I'm going to cut it back further to get it through the rest of the season, and I'm going to remove these potato vines. These are the potato vines that I cut back, and they look great for a few days, and then some of them died back very weirdly. All of them did the same thing, so I don't know if they kind of just gave up too because it was so hot, but I'm going to come through and remove them and get rid of them, and this will just be a lantana container for the rest of the season. So I'm showing you stuff that I would typically not show you because it looks kind of rough, but this is just real life right now of how persistent the heat has been, that even the annuals that love the heat are struggling. These containers that I completely cut back several weeks ago, I guess it's probably been about a month now, have completely filled back in just like they were too. So I need to trim those up as well, although we're getting into the area where it's kind of approaching fall planting of some things, so I could also potentially just remove these. I do like keeping them around for the pollinators, but there's several of these planted in the ground in my garden. But the potato vine is also taking over again, so these need to be refreshened yet again with the crazy potato vine. One container that is still doing really well, and something that I'm going to repeat in more areas of the garden, are these begonias with the 𝗣𝗏𝗧𝗦 Silver Falls. I do need to come through and cut the 𝗣𝗏𝗧𝗦 to just kind of clean it up off the concrete a little bit. It's really pretty though, but it's just performed so well here on this side of the house. So I'm going to repeat this because it's just done such a good job. So if you can't tell, I am a fair weather gardener, and when it gets too hot, I retreat inside and let the garden fend for itself. It's one of the reasons I have drip irrigation, just so I don't have to be out there so much watering. But I also would not be able to take care of this amount of garden with it being this hot and watering by hand. Spring Sizzle, which is that new hydrangea by Bailey and First Edition Shrubs and Trees. This is how pink it has gotten since I showed you about a month ago when I found it in the garden centers. It is a new release this year. I did plant it in front of my rose wall here, which has struggled a little bit this year too. The rose wall had a lot of winter dieback, and then we had a lot of spring storms that broke a lot of the new canes off. We are getting some bloom now, but it's also been so hot that the roses have also just kind of shut down a little bit. So there's a lot of plants that just, when it gets so hot, like tomatoes are even one of them, when the temperatures get above 90 degrees, it doesn't really set blooms or fruit for preservation. So lots of plants are like that. So if it gets too hot for too long, we get this summer dwindling of some of the plants in the garden, but when it starts cooling off in fall, they start growing again and producing flowers again, and that's why you get a second flush on so many things. All right, I'm gonna wrap up this video right here and go inside. I need to do a little bit in the garden before it gets too hot, and then I'm gonna retreat while it's so hot today and come out in the evening and do a little more. Thank y'all for joining me, and remember, be a light. Take care.